Come link with me under the Iroko tree. Make a reason, the rebel season. Speaking the truth for the youths. Maintaining the spiritual rules. Maintaining the spiritual rules. Maintaining the spiritual rules.
Blessed love, welcome again African family, world family under the Iroko tree. Iroko reasoning, spiritual roots, tapping into the spiritual roots of things as always. As we come forward in the spirits and energies of Ma'at Ubuntu, and we say, Mer, Hotep, Anko Jah, Seneb, welcome forward, and we say bless up and big up to the ancestors, those who taught us what not to do and what to do, the right and the wrong, so now we know what to choose from. Welcome forward, African family, world family. Yes, so I want to say to those who have lost someone physically, emotionally, spiritually, all these things, I want to say more strength to you, more power to you. You're there and you're still moving forward, finding the strength to move forward, better the self, and all things are moving in a progressive way. As we always, I will keep it positive. Yes. So with this main reason, I want to talk about farming. I want to look on some of the ideas that have been used in farming, and then some of the ideas that we can use to move forward. Yes. So before we even get into the main route, so we have to jump in our herbs corner and then move on to real life challenges, and then we get into the main route of the reasoning. So for herbs corner, as we jump in our herbs corner, we want to look into marigold, right? So in our little garden in our old fridge. So marigold, I think some of you know it as Thinking Mary as well. Yeah, so for this now, as we say, all we do, we don't do nothing special, we just use Google. So all that we can do this is just to look into these things. Yes. So support skin healing, contains natural antiseptic and anti-inflammatory properties, comprises precursor to the production of antioxidant and vitamin A, reduces eye infection and protects from UV and oxidative damage, helps to soothe the mucous membrane of the throat while easing the pain. So that is marigold right there. All we have to do is go and look further, and we will find other benefits of these things. And as I've said before, seems to be the one that are behind on these healing properties and treatments of using these plants for treatments and these herbs for treatment and healing and curing. Because when we really look, when we had the local research, we realize that the world, other places for decades, years upon years, thousands of years, been using these things as medicines and healing potions. So check into this, look into this, we can find those healing properties. So herbs corner, marigold, I will look into it, and I'm sure we're going to hear one or two more things as we get into the main root of the thing and talk about farming. Blessed. Yes, so we jump over into real life challenge now, and we are talking about accepting help. We kind of struggle with that most of the time, and I think part of the reason is based on how people, whenever they help you, you feel like you owe them based on they saying one thing with their words and then their actions are saying something else. So we kind of find it hard to accept help from people or ask for help. So we work on that. And most of the times we really need to get the help on. So I guess what we need to do is really choose who we are trying to accept help from or seek help from. So we struggle with that a little bit, and we work on it. As we say, we try to work it out, especially when we know so we need help. Because yeah, when you have things to fulfill, and that makes sense, because you don't want to accept help, then you think can't move forward. So we work on that. What are you working on? What are you wanting to work on and move forward, doing better at or with? So real life challenge. I know where I'm going with you now. Blessed. Yes, so as we say, right, so now we want to talk about farming. I want to big up a living ancestor, Dr. Ray Higgins. I want to borrow a thing from him. I'm teaching, and it's the circle of awareness. And it's to realize within a circle, what we already know is within the circle. So if we keep in mind, there are so much more to know that is outside of our circle of awareness, our circumference of awareness. And if we don't keep an open mind to that, then we become ones that will reject information and facts and truth that will help us to move forward physically, spiritually, emotionally. So I want to borrow that from him and say, boy, sometimes we'll be saying things that probably have never seen written or heard before. But it doesn't mean that it's not true. And even if it's opinion, if we can look on it and see where it makes sense and then can be used and become something tangible, just like everything else that we know for the most part that have been made by man, it first was from an opinion, and then it became thought that was believed in the heart. Then it became what we already know things to be in our cars, house, plane, train, all of these things started from an opinion, a thought that was believed in the heart. That's where all tangible things starts. Yeah, so I want to use a little analogy where we say our brain, our mind is like a seed. So the information we already know or are aware of is the coating or the shell of the seed of our mind. And then knowledge, now information, truth is like water. So just like how some seeds take a longer time to germinate, and I mean based on the toughness of the shell, because nature work out how or where these seeds would need to survive. So based on that, so we get our shell, which is the knowledge that we have already cover our mind. For some of us it's harder, for some of us it's softer. So we know, so when knowledge come to try seep in, so we can germinate in a better way, a different way. Hopefully it's better, as we always try to keep it positive. Then we realize looking at it, not everybody going to take the knowledge or what we call waking up at the same time. So it's based on how much the information, the knowledge that we already have, how much it hard coded over our mind. So when knowledge comes, it take a hard for some way. Some people take on certain things earlier than me. They are take on some things earlier than some people, and we have to recognize and understand that as part of the journey for each of we. So as them to plant a seed, what we are doing is plant the seed. So hopefully ones and ones will take it on at some point. Yes. So we're up on the journey just the same, learning to unlearn to learn, learning and sharing. So we plant the seed them way there. Hopefully it don't feel like we are forced somebody to take on nothing unnecessary. But we want to understand, say, if today, what makes sense today should be taken on today for tomorrow to be even a little better. You know what I mean? And we need to stop making excuses for not wanting to do better, and then want to do the stupidness or the foolishness one more time. For what reason? You know what I mean? We have to have that conviction within ourselves and realize how much we are influenced the youth and we are watched. So from that perspective, we need to take on what makes sense as early as possible and stop giving ourselves excuse that it's not my time yet. Once the knowledge has come across your ears and your eyes, it is your time. It's not your time when you don't have exposure to the knowledge. That's the time it's not your time. But once you are aware of something, then that's your time. You know what I mean? So farming, what I want to say, is amazing how we're disconnected from the very thing that's in us, life. And it's amazing how disconnected we are from that thing what we do every day, and it's eat food. As them say, food is the staff of life. Right there. So I want to take a little look into this. So right, that's how we now food little thing. So now we have, see, everything green and nice. The only chemical in here so is dirt. I want to say the dirt is not dirty. So it's dirt, sunshine and water. Nothing else. And look on these things. Flourishingly green, doing all that they're supposed to do without no added harmful chemicals. See it? So within farming, look at the leaves, spinach, all these things, look at them green and fat and nice. So farming institutionally have taught us, and then some people and their practices have taught us that we need to be using the bad chemicals to kill the earth, also killing ourselves. So I try to kill the weeds and leave the land bare and open, chop down all of the trees, and we help with maintaining moisture and keeping the soil together and keeping the soil healthy. So when we look, we realize that there are other ways, there are better ways to do these things. So one might say this is a small scale farm or a little gardening, so you can't compare it to a big farm. And that the worst thing that happened to food was when it became an industry. Yes, so we know, say, money is now the motivator. So there's nothing about health. So it's getting the food to be quick. So there's all kind of boosters and chemicals. So we end up poisoning ourselves. When we look, we see a Loop News article cancer on the rise amongst young people in Jamaica. And we know so that is worldwide as well. So, and in the article, they make it look like them don't know what is causing it. But it's the food. We say all of the fast food giants them from wherever else in the world, they are Jamaica now. Yes? And no matter what go on, we say the line them long. So, and as early as the morning, we can say some little youth with spliff tail, arm out and spliff behind ears and a little plastic cup with some orange or yellow liquid and all of these things. Probably day upon days and right through the day, these are the things. So, and in the article, we see them talk about setting up the after effect, taking care of the after effect. And we don't say them talk about putting in the preventative measures because big money is tied to these things. Yeah, so, you know what I mean, when we dose the earth with these chemicals, the only reason we're not even die at this fast rate is because the earth is fighting. The dirt is one of the most natural filters. So the earth, they fight these chemicals. You know what I mean? Filter out some of it, because we keep on putting it back, so we kill the dirt. So that's why we end up talking about the dirt have no nutrients, because we kill it over time with all these chemicals. So when we look into it, we realize that all we need to do is stop doing this. And this have been taught to us through institutions, called in school, all these things, and we call it education. So we got educated to poison off ourselves, and we're picking them. We don't need to be doing those things. So we talk about marigold in our herbs corner. And marigold is one of them plants that you can plant in your garden, in your farm. And it is also like a pest controller. Based on its smell, as we say, some people probably know it as stinking Mary. So based on its smell, the insects won't mess around with it. Because if we look in here, so we realize all the leaves are whole. There are no bites on these leaves. You know what I mean? I think this, I know this has Spanish time. So this is probably one of those strong smelling plants as well. We keep away pests. And if we want to use garlic and crush it in the water with cinnamon powder, with hot pepper powder, all of these things can be used as pesticides rather than these harmful chemicals that we're using to kill the dirt. And that's where the food is getting its nutrient from. So obviously it's absorbing all of that bad chemical as well. Again, we end up with cancer earlier and earlier as the generations go on. So we use these things, and just like in a baking or whatever else, if you make a 1 pound cake, you know the amount of ingredients you use this. So if you want to make a 2, 3, 4, 5 pound, then we know so we increase on the ingredients. So the same thing, if you're going to do a big farm, all you have to do is get more of these plants and plant through your crops. Look at this one plant of marigold. When these bloom, flowers, dry down, the seeds are left behind, and all you have to sprinkle those seeds and leave them. This one plant, you can get thousands, hundreds of seeds from to replicate. So there we go. All of these things we just need to look into, and then we talk about, we might look on it and say, boy, it's hard. But I'll understand, based on everything we did consider hard, is because we never used to do it. It's just like who can ride a bicycle. When it just started, it feel hard until you get used to it and can do it. And I mean, say, it's still the same thing, you know. So if somebody else that never ride a bicycle go and try, now we're going to look hard to them until them get used to it. So it's that time of a thing. We just need to be developing the routine of doing these things and realize we health. Why when, as we said, we're so disconnected from the life that is within us, and disconnected from the thing that is feeding the life within us, which is food. So we need to understand these things. We can't keep on a poison of ourselves and then I wonder why we end up around the hospital and doctor. You know what I mean? We're just serving that industry. And as we talk about passing on good habits to the youths, the children, these are the things we need to get them involved in. Make them have this close connection to food. You know what I mean? So we know, so we have children grow up right now, not even know where, how food come, or certain foods come. You know what I mean? All they probably learning from majority of us is to go and stand in a line and wait. Spend your money and wait, and somebody to hand you a tray or something, a bag with food and a cup with drinks. So all these things, we need to get the youths, the children involved, having a close connection with their food, so they know how and what their food come and what they're eating. So as we did our videos before, healthy legacy, why are we not striving to pass that on? We are only thinking about the money and the cars and the land and all of these things, but they won't be able to enjoy these things without having health. So we need to get them involved, let them understand, let them fall in love with the processes of these things. So planting and reaping and the therapeutic, the spiritual energy that is associated with that as well. As we say, everything is about having that spiritual root. Then even write this out, then if we are spiritually connected that way, then we wouldn't want to be harming ourselves, you know what I mean, and anyone else for that matter, or any other life form. So all those little microbes and things that are in the soil, as we say, God, that is where God resides in all these processes, you know what I mean. All these rains and the sunshine put everything together, and we say we're connected with the cellular, but we're not connected to the cellular. So we just see the trees and we don't see the microbes underneath that, how the roots get nutrified, how the tree itself are made up of how many cells, just like how we are, and the bacteria and all these things that are working together. So to dig the earth and see all of those little life under there, and see how they are doing what they are doing to help sustain us, you know what I mean. It doesn't get any more spiritual than that. Yeah, so for those who are in areas where they can pass farm or farming lands, ones can take note of, do you see birds flying and scratching around in these farm areas? Because since I've started planting my little things here, we use these bottles or like a drip irrigation thing, fill it with water, small holes in there, so it drips slowly out and maintains some moisture in the soil. So this is how we do for little recycling as well. So since me start plant my little thing, then I can see birds come around every morning. I can come out and see birds scratching around and picking around, because the environment is clean, free from all these harmful chemicals. Yes, so these are the things we're about. We can spiritual and not taking care of our health from all aspects, going all the way. Nothing is too hard to do for the health. So we have some cane and all these things are going on. So sweet potato, tomato, them little something that we are going with, mint, pine. So we are trying to do for ourselves, as Marcus Garvey said, self-sufficient and self-reliant. So we are trying. And then if we understand, say, food, as we say, industry, it's being monopolized. So food is being controlled by some people just for money, you know what I mean. And then soon, if we're not careful, original organic seeds are being outlawed. You know, you can, if you find out with these things, you can be arrested and charged. So all these things, because food is being controlled by people with money. So you have one source of food, so they dictate to you what you can eat and what you should eat. And then food, we have food being grown without soil right now. So what is it? When we know that soil is one of the main ingredients, so to speak, when it comes to food production. Because all of that healthy nutrients should be coming from the soil. So you have food now grow in some place will lock up. No nutrients, they look nice and pretty, and you eat and it feel good, feel belly full. That's why we say stop eat. We need to stop eat because we're hungry. We need to start eat because we want to be healthy and should be healthy. So if you're gonna eat because you're hungry, anything will do. So you just want to feel full. But if you're gonna eat for health, then you have to start research, you have to start looking into where your food come from, how your food come, how your food is prepared, all of that, and you have to ensure so you possibly want to do it for yourself as much as possible for the most part. So all of these things, we need to look in, we need to check in, you know what I mean? It's just like what we say about religion. If we are going to give your soul to and all your time towards devotion and conviction to say this is what I worship, this is what I deal with, then shouldn't you want to question and scrutinize and make sure so what you give yourself to, your soul to, can stand up to all the scrutiny and take all the questions and answer them and make sure say no, you feel secure, say I can give myself to this because it proves itself worthy. So we say food security is not only food surety but food quality. So you have the food, but what is it doing for you? What quality food is it? Is it nutritious? So we need to look into these things. Here, so we have a little seedling thing going on here. So we'll try to get some trees and some fruit trees on the land where we depend, where we don't have. So one of the reasons we hear about why they are making Franken foods, food that don't have no nutrients, as we say, food that grow without soil, so is that we are here about food shortage and to feed the world and all these things. And as we write before, and we have said there's no great secret to abundance. What we need to do is what we take from nature, we just replant, because everything comes with a seed, and all we need to do is replant that seed. Do like the birds, as we said before, eat whatever them fly, what they say, drop and it grow again. So them have a way better system than us, we call ourselves intelligent, as the more intelligent side of the animal world. Because as we said before, it's hard to understand so we more intelligent than the animals, because you see the goat, if you know say whatever over there's a poison, not going to eat it, but we continue to do that to ourselves. We know so the thing not good for we want partake one more time, you know. So even from scraps we can grow food, you know what I mean. These are just, we have some carrot tops right here. Won't get back full grown carrots from it, but we can get the tops, the green part of it, and this is nutritious as well. So these are you know what I mean, just roots stick. So this is soil from the swamp area that I am in, so it holds water for a longer time. So we use these things to catch and replant all these little scraps that we can regrow and get nutritious food from. So we have some seedlings, and we talk about food shortage. How is that going? Because this is one June plum seed right here, and from that one seed we have 3 plants coming up right here, one seed. So the next one over there with 2. Oh, right here we're trying a thing with rice. So see, we are trying to grow some rice. That's alright. That's so we have some June plum, some noni, all of that, neem. So let's try to do all like a thing that is self-sufficient, self-reliant. We are trying to control what we eat, make sure so what we eat is based on health. So this is what we are doing, you know what I mean. So we need to tap in, we need to get the youth them involved, so them can carry on a healthy legacy, a healthy tradition. So we need to look into what we are doing. We need to, as we said before, if we don't know where our garbage is going, then we need to worry where our food is coming from. So this is how we need to be looking at the life. Get connected with the life that is in us. Get connected to what is sustaining our life. Food, you know what I mean. So once we're connected with those things from a natural perspective, it doesn't get any more spiritual than that. So we need to look in, we need to check in, we need to understand how we are dealing with. We need to know how we are passing on to the youths. We need to understand how we are doing to ourselves on a daily basis. And in regards to soil losing nutrient, because the more you plant and the food takes nutrient from the soil, then you need to be giving it back something to the microbes, things to work and break down again to regenerate the nutrition within the soil. So right so, as we talk about recycling, we have like a compost pile right here. So all the things that we use, the peeling skin, all these things, we just throw them back in this pile, cover that with dirt and some trash and all of these organic materials. So again, the microbes, all these little things going to work and break them down and create new soil, nutritious soil for us to use to plant in again. So there we go. All these things we need to look into, get in tune with, get in touch with. So with the zinc and the plastic, it traps the heat, so it helps to create a faster breaking down process. We can mix some sugar and water, or use molasses and mix it out in water and throw it in there as well, so that helps to create more worms and bacteria and all of that, so for an even more faster breaking down process. So all these things, as we say, learning and sharing, and I like me wake up and know these things out of the blue, you know. So that is what this is about, finding the best practices, the best ways to do these things, and then just share them with ones and ones, just like how others are sharing, so we can learn as well. So that's what it is about, and that's what we are about, and that's what we're trying to do. So as for the most part, whatever we choose to talk about, we're going to try it, if we're not try it yet. And so what we are learning, we are share. Yes, this is what we are doing for ourselves, trying to do for ourselves, and learning and sharing the process. I will give thanks to be able to do that. Yes, I want to say, give thanks to all who are supporting, watching the videos, liking the videos, commenting. We give thanks for the support. Just go and share and subscribe, help others to come in, so we can rise the vibration. We can look at ourselves in a more critical way, a more sensible way, uplifting way, and not just accept any little foolishness from ourselves, because we want to grow healthier and as better people and pass it on to youths them. That's what we are about, finding a better way, doing things from a more make sense perspective. So it's a blessing, love, blessings and love. I will say stay safe out there. Take care of yourself, take care of the environment, so the environment can take care of you. Yes, I will say look into the information. Whatever the information is, question everything. Yes, like when we just run around like our heads cut off, because we realize people in a free space I walk around in a mass, there's no one around them, but because people are scared, they're just doing these things. Yes? So we need to understand, sir, we need to take care of ourselves from a make sense point of view and not just be running around doing things because people say your life is in danger. Yes? So look into what we are doing, understand what we are doing, and do it from that perspective. So stay safe out there, take care of the youth, them take care of themselves, take care of the environment. Have some blessed love. Peace.
Come link with me under the Iroko tree. Make a reason, the river season. Speaking the truth for the youths. Maintaining the spiritual rules. Maintaining the spiritual rules. Maintaining the spiritual rules.
Food shortage.